Right here, 6 o'clock.
So you, here, not her.
All right, I guess we're gonna go ahead and call the meeting to order. And I'd like to start with introductions. I'm Krista Meyerford. I'm the Neighborhood Association from Wisconsin to McClure, or Wisconsin to Knoxville, McClure to Thrush, Neighborhood Association President, and President of the ACLU, and I work at Joel Harm Reduction, and I live right here on Arcadia.
I'm Jessica Down Jr.
And he's on his phone.
If people don't lie to me, won't make lie to me.
He's calling out everybody.
Okay, you have the treasurer legislature stuff. The Neighborhood Association.
And my name is Lawrence Michard, and I'm on the board as well as the secretary. And are we waiting for the?
No, it's the introduction.
We're just going to do introductions. Right?
Yeah, we started this.
So, another member of the board.
Harlow, go ahead.
Happy to be here.
My name is Harlem, and I'm the president's daughter, and I'm going to
Okay.
Gloria, Jesse called me, and when Jesse calls me, I come.
That's a good thing.
Actually, that's good.
My name is Gloria Clark, and when Jesse runs into me at the store and he say, come, I come. I am a community activist. I like to get involved in the community and see what's going on. And currently retired, went back to work for Center for Prevention of Abuse and Domestic Violence part-time. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi. Just in time for introduction.
Let's start signing right here first.
All right. Hi.
This is Rita. This is a shock right here. That's my
Hi,
name.
Gloria. I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Richard Spring. I've been in the neighborhood for a little while, about 45 years now.
Wow.
So, and this is one of the first meetings I've been to, so looking to get active again. I am retired now, so looking for other things to keep me out of mischief
You are
and maybe keep others out at the same time.
There you go.
Jesse called people.
That's exactly right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Convenient time.
Good evening. All right. Okay. All right. Did you make it to Keith?
No, sir. Keith McDaniel. I'm the current City of Peoria's Police Department's Community Engagement Coordinator. I served 28 years as a police officer, retiring last June. Served 1 year with Peoria Community Against Violence. Gloria left me at that point. And now I'm back with the city as, like I said, Community Engagement Coordinator. I stayed 1015 East Fair Oaks Avenue, right up the block. I stayed there for 21 years. I just recently moved. Now I stay living in the Fort Worth.
Thank you.
There was a lot of people who came in.
Get it behind you.
Yeah, so we'll let them, you know, and
Get
I'll
your
pull up the
introduction.
roof. Yeah, and I'll pull up the roof.
All right, there you go.
All right, I'll start since he's signing. I am Lacey Simmons. I am part of the neighborhood community, and I am also working at Woodruff. Down the hill, I've been there for 12 years. I am the hair braiding teacher. I'm the only and the first hair braiding teacher in the state of Illinois.
He did teach me.
I heard that.
I know.
What don't realize is though, Lace's our vice president.
Yes.
Yes. And I'm really involved. I've always been involved in the neighborhood association. I was vice president of Goose Lake also before I moved. And I'm very concerned and always been involved in the city council and, you know, trying to do my part, thinking about what's going on. So I'm here to contribute. And just thinking about, I'm on the threat assessment team at Woodruff also. So that's a connection, I believe, because our kids are really going through some things. You know, I deal with Peoria High School, I deal with Manual, and I deal with Central. So all those kids come to Woodruff for the career technology. So we really try to focus on making sure things are, I got things but, that everything, you know, that it goes good so that they know we don't necessarily make sure that they go for just going for a career, jump out of high school, which they can if they need to. You know, college is important. But at the end of the day, you might lose something that you make it. And so that's what it does.
My name is John McBride. I've been here 12 years. I met Jesse. I retired from Komatsu. I did 41 years in that joint. And I've been retired for 5 years now. And me and Jesse talk a lot to, try to do things for the community and stuff. And, I supposed to be for the community.
Yes.
I come from the South End.
Yes, sir.
I'm a Vietnam vet.
Yes.
Like Jesse is. I went to Vietnam and came back all right, everything on me and shit, but I'm with Jesse. I talk to Jesse a lot, try to do with him, do things with the community. And that's what we try to do. We try to do the God thing and anything we can together, I want to do something. I'm retired now, so I just want to do something one more time.
All right.
Do something one more time.
We got two back here.
Be busy.
Okay, my name is Mia Clark. I live on Arcadia. I'm raised in Harlow with Lawrence and them and Miss Kristen. I've been here 25 years. I'm also from the South End. I do believe in it takes a village, and I wish more people would speak to these children as opposed to look at them and say, ain't that a damn shame? That's what I wish would happen. Don't just let them walk by and keep moving and acting.
And for those who don't know, Amia's past president of the association.
And this is my niece Elaine. She just found out our boundaries were moved and she's included now, and so I dragged her.
Because I used to always say I'm on the wrong side of the track.
What's your name, ma'am?
Elaine Ashmore.
Welcome to the neighborhood.
Yes.
She's been there about 15 years, her own self, but the line moved and they put her in it.
Great.
I'll let you go ahead.
All right, so what we're going to do tonight, we're going to hear from the two representatives of the police department, what they're doing, what they need us to do. Then we can ask them what we can do, we can ask them what we want to do, like that. So which one wants to go first? Ladies first?
I'll go get it.
Okay.
Since I said I'd bring up the rear. So really quick here. Most half of you, I know, because we grew up together on the south end of Peoria.
Right.
So my name is Mary. Babies, not only do they need love, but they need to be told and shown what it is that they're supposed to do in the right way that they're supposed to do it.
Yes.
And I say, if I say something to them and I try to bring it in a way, anymore, used to be I just say, look, but I try to bring it in a way, because it's got a whole different group and generation. I try to bring it in a way so that not only am I providing you with recommendations or suggestions of how you do something, but I'm also providing you with some love. And so, the end, they can't say that no one told them.
Nobody.
Because I'm the first one to say that. I told you. You may have not heard me or listened, but I told you. So don't say that no one ever told you. They call me the one with all the questions, because my nieces and nephews, they make sure that they tell any of their friends. Okay, Mom Mary, she's going to ask you 50 questions. I told some great nephews the other night, I told them, I said, I'm asking you questions now so that when someone else asks you those questions, you'll be prepared to answer and you won't shut up. So, with that said, I am, wait for it, I am the Community Relations Crime Prevention Manager. I say that because it's I'm community relations. The lion's share of my job is to work on making sure that we at the police department and anyone that we're working with know what the resources are out here in the community, connecting those resources together, and then connecting our community to those resources. And we're using what's called the IRIS. It is the Integrated Referral Information, Intake System. And it's a computer-based system where we will work with community organizations and service providers to make sure that they're in the system, but we've got to work with them because there's certain rules and guidelines that you have to abide by. But we want to, in the end, we want to be able to go to a computer after we built the relationships with the community service providers and the community-based organizations, and we built the relationships with residents, to be able to go and say, what do you need? Go to that computer, make 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 referrals. Then those organizations on the other end of those referrals will either accept the referral or reject it, but we'll be able to know. Then we'll be able to know, once they accepted it, what did they do? If they couldn't reach them, then we need to go in and find out why they couldn't reach them. Maybe there's a phone number change. We know phone numbers change. I don't know about any of you, but I can still tell you my childhood phone number because we kept it forever. Right. You know, we didn't change phone numbers, but people do. And so, you know, having that relationship, then we can go back and like, hey, did you change your phone number in that 2 weeks that, you know, well, then we need to get back in and get you updated in the system. Those organizations then need to reach out to the individuals. Once they do, they will go back in the system and make case notes that they reached them and what happened. We, because we have relationships, then need to check with the individuals, just check with them, make sure that everything's everything. I didn't say that for you. I'm amazing myself. To make sure that they actually were reached and that they were provided the service that they need. We'll also be able to go, and the information is private. You have to give us permission to make the referral. So we can't just put you in the system and make a referral without your permission. The other beauty about this is because, you know, normally when you encounter someone and they say that they need service, they may need several different resources. You have to go back, you got to get on the phone, you got to call someone, you got to wait for it. If there's no one answering, you got to wait for them to call you back. Mm-hmm. Then once I'm gonna get you Mia. You got to there's a lot of legwork in that. And so with this computer-based system, we're trying to cut down on the legwork and making sure we get people connected with what they need in as timely manner as possible. Yes, ma'am.
What sort of resources are you talking about?
Eventually, right now, so Iris is here in the Tazewell, Peoria, and Woodford County, but right now, most of the resources that's in that database are for early education.
Okay.
We're working, or hoping, or we're planning, and so keep me in the job for a few years, is to get any and all resources. Right now, I'm focusing on youth, programs that service youth, because I think that's one of the places that we need to start as we talk about reducing. We need to start getting them as young as possible to make sure that they're connected. We've got programs. We are a community that's rich with resources. But navigating that is very challenging, for individuals, but we as a community, our resources don't talk to each other either. And so part of that is getting them connected as well. And there's all kinds of databases out here. Some will give you phone numbers to places, but they don't actually make the referral. This will actually make the referral. And anyone who's in that database, service provider or community-based organization, there's a community of standards document that they have to complete, saying, I will do X, Y, and Z. So for example, if you're in there, you've committed to saying that you will check your system, and within 72 hours, I'm just throwing a number out here right now, you will be in touch with that individual. And so down the road, we check on that. In the behind, we check and make sure that that's happening. If there's a capacity bar. If they're at capacity or almost at capacity, they need to require someone, they have to have someone who's moving that capacity bar. Because we don't want them to be making referrals and you are at your capacity. And then somewhere down the road, if an organization keeps being at capacity, then we're going to follow back up with them and say, hey, what can we do to help? Because another part of my position is as I learn about grants, is to try and connect those organizations with grants that they might be eligible for to help build capacity. Service providers. And please don't tell me what he tells me to do, so y'all just follow me. Thank you. Yeah.
Are we ready? I'm not going to be as long as Mary, because I know we got a lot more business to discuss. But I was hired in August I took over for Chris Johnson, if anybody knew who Chris Johnson was.
He's back, he's back, somebody told me he's back.
He is working with fiber or somebody.
Natural welders.
Yeah,
okay.
Fiber welding.
And he's a part of their recruitment process down there. My position was created under the old Don't Shoot program, which was held by Angel Cruz. And at that point in time, it was going and talking to young men who were incarcerated, helping them get reacquainted with society. Chris Johnson did the same thing. He took it to the next level and he started doing coat drives, food giveaways, things of that nature. This chief came on board and he decided to revamp it, and instead of outreach, he wanted more engagement. So they assigned me. I work under Sergeant Chris White for the Neighborhood Services Unit. And he has 4 neighborhood officers, and I don't know if you all have met any of them in your neighborhood. This district right now is without a neighborhood officer, so they're looking once the budget comes into play of getting another officer where you can communicate directly to them to get some of the problems solved. But the chief's philosophy is with engagement, is coming to the neighborhood meetings and talk about quality of life issues. Okay, and from the quality of life complaints, then we're able to connect you with the proper resources to get those things taken care of. And the chief feels that once lighting is taking place or potholes are filled, that people will feel more comfortable then and invest in their community and then start tackling the crime. So that's why.
Some lighting.
Yes,
Just
yes.
quality of life, everyday issues, which everybody is entitled
Yes,
to.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So that is what I do. I go to meetings like this, take back complaints, and also if the police department can help out in any event, we would love to be on the calendar to do what we can do to help. Yes, sir.
We've done a lot of the groundwork, the neighborhood association already.
Yes, sir.
So we have a detailed list of the interior streets here from Archer to Ravine of all the dark spots, street lights, okay? So we have the data, and I can give it to you. I've got your card stuff. I will send that to you.
Yes, sir.
If then Chief Echevarria, yourself, and others would get behind that, we will get a lot better quality of life here. We have done the footwork. We need you guys to put the pressure.
I believe, and maybe Kaylee can, fill in a little bit on that, because that's her expertise.
I heard you say quality of life issues and street lighting, so I had to jump in.
Yes, sir. No. And I don't want to take over, but that's her field. But I do know there's grant money that's come down.
Yes.
And there's some things in place to get more lighting, better
That's what
lighting.
Jahan did.
Which would, better lighting, we know deters crime. It doesn't stop crime, but it deters crime, so.
We have a complete, you can leave here right now and walk those 2 houses, and there's nothing from the parking lot here down to the corner.
Just FYI, I had the city, I contacted them years before our neighborhood association. They sent a line out, they checked and seen how our lighting was, and they said we were appropriate.
Yeah.
But the churches had lighting up their cross at night.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
It's been quite a while, but I'm
You
just
might want to make that complaint again, and there's some new things coming down the pipe, and like I said, I don't want to speak on behalf of that, but the other thing I'm doing is I'm in the process of revamping the Neighborhood Watch program, and that is a very important piece to this puzzle. When we talk about tip 411 and calling in, it's also knowing who your neighbors are and what is out of the ordinary. So a lot of people don't know who their neighbors are because people are in and out of certain houses. They don't keep up with their houses, Landlords that we can get.
We can go all the way into that, yeah.
I have an issue, domestic violence. I've heard a lot about that, and certain things. When you call the police, and you actually have written stuff that people have said to you. I've learned in going to court with my daughter, it wasn't me, thank the Lord, because I probably would caught a case.
I love that.
Back then, I probably, God is good. You get to court, and the person that has violated you has they don't contest the 50 feet, you know.
Order of protection?
Order of protection, they don't contest it, then that just goes into the database of, okay, he didn't contest it, now you gotta catch him again. He's standing here in court with you. You know how that would feel, you know.
I've been through it, I know.
You know, he's standing there in court with you. He's not contesting it. They're not going to arrest him. You can call him on several occasions. You have incidents, you have reports.
I try to rush you out, could you get to the point a little quicker?
But the point is, you went through the process.
Yes.
And it still didn't work.
This is important. If you look at the commitment report, most of the stuff is domestic, right?
So then, until she dies,
Yeah.
which God, I hope God forbid,
Exactly.
you know, something happened to her. We've seen constant cases. We had a couple here. I just feel that
More should be done.
that
There should be a consequence to breaking that rule.
You shouldn't be able to throw out somebody, you know, violating you, or if you got written proof, there should be no way that he could stand there in court and throw it out. You should be able to keep it. You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am. So I lost my commission status when I retired. I am civilian McDaniel now. But what we can do, there is a domestic violence detective. Her name is Chavez, who is real good at what she do, and right here, CHAVEZ. You might want to give her a call, and she can run through the entire process with the new law changes and everything that came into effect and what is getting ready to come up here.
Is she a detective?
Yes, Detective Chavez.
My thing
She is the domestic violence detective.
Thank you.
Not to kill off, but my thing is, we sit around and talk a lot of stuff, you realize, it starts at home. It starts at home. Now, when we was growing up, we had real mothers and big mamas and everything. Now we got mamas 20 years old, we got grandmas 25 years old. It starts at the house. Simple as that. It starts at your home. That little boy got the house, little girl out do something stupid, that's because their parents ain't take care of business. So we can't bring nobody but their parents. That's where it comes from, the parents.
I think it's more peer pressure.
No, I take another approach to that. That's part of the problem, but to try to lump everything into one group, it's not gonna work.
You can't.
Because listen to me, what I'm saying.
Okay,
We're talking about parents. We're talking about parents. See, I was a single parent. Without a support system,
Go ahead.
a single parent can't make without a support system.
Right.
If you ain't got somebody you call, if you at work, you cannot raise a teenager in Peoria if you ain't got somebody to back you up.
That's right.
The only way I was able to do it because I had my own business at that time. I had to take off work many times. If I had a regular job, I know a lady right now, I can tell you, she had a call from the school. She was the only cashier at the service station. She had police call for her son. If she goes, she got told the service that she was a job. If she don't go, she's a poor parent. And that's what I was talking about. We got these standard support system. Just saying that, okay, it's the parent's fault. If the parent ain't got nobody to help them, then that parent, yeah, you got, we ain't talking about loud parents. We know what not loud parents. We know, but that's not all the kids though. Every kid you see out on the street, that parent might be at work.
Yeah, 2 or 3 jobs.
Yeah. So we got to take that into consideration.
Hold up.
Everything's different.
I had a mother raised 4 kids by herself.
But
It's security guard, security guard is for
It's different now. It's different now.
But John, just like I said when I stood up,
Yep.
the fact was, and someone just said this.
Yeah, me don't have
In
here.
a community
That's right.
and in a village.
The community was that force.
Because you had other people who.
That's right. Yeah.
In the neighborhood, took their business.
Right, and so it made, it made a difference.
Yeah, it did.
Because you could be in the house and you got somebody else, you know, the coach, you know.
I'm
they
not
said-
coach,
they
boy.
said
I'm not
they-
coach, boy.
The coach, they sat on the stoop all day,
Yeah,
every day,
all
all day
day.
long.
Don't
And
make it
everybody
work.
came, they. Anyway,
You're not done. No, you're not done.
Y'all took it to the next level over there.
So you're right, and so you can't deal with this from just one perspective and blame.
Right,
We've got to deal with this holistically, we've got to figure
But
out.
the parents gotta put in too.
Oh,
Although you going to work, I get that,
What about
but you got to know somebody, you got to tell somebody.
I don't know about here. I didn't know about it.
Oh, I'm saying now.
Because the one that don't know, I know parents right now that don't know about it. The girl just got killed herself over here. The dad had to walk in on the spur of the moment to take over their kids. They have no idea what they're doing. I work with all 7 of the kids. They have no idea. The dad's not trying. I have to give them credit for that. They have no support system, they have no knowledge of nothing. They need people to step in and say, hey, look here, I'm gonna help, that's which is what I'm doing. But all the rest of them, we need that same thing all around the city. We can't just lump everybody in the same
Jesse,
bag.
I don't have one family member in the whole state of Illinois. All my family.
And you don't have a 13-year-old
I had
kid.
to get in church.
You don't have a 13-year-old kid either.
I had to become responsible, you know what I'm saying, for my children. Some kids don't have grandparents. So now we got the grandparents coming down there, and that's all I'm saying. I'm trying to speak up PCCO. You know, grandparents come in. You have to know what a grandparent is to even respect one.
What I found is we got a lot of parents living in fear. A lot of parents are living in fear of their children. They have no idea what they're getting, what they send out and what they're receiving back. Right. From social media and everything else.
But that goes back to her also saying, nowadays you gotta understand, you got a grandma that's probably 30. Or a grandma that's probably 33. So you got a grandma that young and mama 15, 16, 17 herself, and she ain't had no mother on herself. You can't really be like, oh, what the kid doing is her fault. You can't really do that. You know, but it's nice to have programs and resources out here to give them. Cause me, I had my first child at 17. I did not know what I was doing. I completely dropped out of school. I went and got my GED though, you know. But thanks, I had my I had my mom and she had her grandmother. So, and I had other kids. I went through domestic. I done been homeless. I done lived in projects. I done lived off food stamps. I done went to the food pantry. I done done all of that. But I believe by resources, I'm a success story now. I got my bachelor's degree. I'm on Section 8. I work for PCCO, and I'm helping other people. It just comes to when people forgot about the village. When people forgot about the village and started disrespecting the village. It's an issue. You know what I'm saying? And you remember what's in the village? The teacher, the police officer, all of those, the firefighter. So when you start disrespecting the village, that's when the issues come in. That's just my opinion. That's why I came, because I feel like I could be a part, because I live right here on Republic. You know, and it's bad. I got a grandson that I can't let go outside because somebody got shot down the street from us. And I came in from church on a Sunday, and the police had knocked on my door and said, ma'am, did you hear this? I said, what I hear? I come outside, I got 21 bullet holes in front of my grill. That ain't a good way for me to live. Just me. Not only that, another thing that issue is, you can see kids walking. And I know it's 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And you have police officers that will literally be walking and driving around and see these kids out here and don't even try to take them to school. Don't ask them why they're out here walking around. None of that. And it's bad for us to have a police station right here and this Family Dollar is getting robbed every other day. It's just something. It don't make no sense. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. But my experiences being up here, I have not had no good experiences with no police officers up here. I feel like, by a police officer being in place, yeah. But you got to understand though, is the police officer that right one? We got to learn how to trust the police officer. We got to learn how to trust the doctor. We got to learn how to trust the teacher and the firefighter and the ambulance driver and all of that. So, the village.
Yes, ma'am. I want to ask Pete, what can we as an association do to assist y'all?
Well, it starts with having meetings like this to discuss the problems.
Well, we're going to start having our Monday meetings.
Yeah, because we, as a police department, gets flooded with complaints. What years are they falling on? Who knows? But I can tell you this, I have a direct connect with the chief and his administration. So your complaints will not be ignored, and we will have a follow-up and an answer for you.
Well, one of the things I would like you to take back is the problem that I be having. We need to some way to consolidate the dispatch with the police department. Because
that would be
dispatch group.
That would be on your mayor and
dispatch group. You call dispatch, you can hold them. Yeah. we blame the police for not showing up. Many times the police don't get the message.
Yeah.
The dispatch don't feel like it's work. They actually told me.
We don't even control dispatch. So.
They actually told me I'm not delivering that message unless you gonna be there. So they didn't deliver. So I would say, how do we? The police get blamed for it. Well, I called the police, never showed up. And I called the police, went back. I never got that message. So how do we?
That would be one, Jesse, where you would go to city council meeting and address the horseshoe. And then they can get a hold of ECC and figure out how to combine the two and how they can get a supervisor from the police department.
Yes.
Where it used to be that way back when, where they had a police officer or police sergeant in the dispatch area. But that stopped 30-some odd years ago. Yes, sir.
From the department, I think, I live right here. We walked across the street to get here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what does everyone think about a need for beat police officers, people who are walking or riding bikes through the neighborhood, getting to know the people, you know? People don't want to, you know, have an antagonistic situation, and if the cops are actually here and talking to people, I think they'll be well received. And we just see cops flying, you know, it's like we're under occupation sometimes, because the cops are in the cars and they're flying by and all that, and there's no connection.
No
So
communication.
you guys got to get out of your cars. I don't know if you're an officer or not, but whatever. But I'm saying this to the Echeverria, the chief, and all the brass. They got to get out of their cars and they got to talk to people, and don't be afraid, because we don't need frightened officers.
I don't know what
I
you
know we
mean.
have it now.
They know me.
That ain't gonna never happen. That ain't never happen. This ain't California, Georgia, they ain't never, we ain't had no police cops around here.
Why not?
Get a car.
Why not?
I'm
See,
saying,
this is where we have to educate ourselves. The neighborhood services officers do have bicycles and they have them riding. Okay, so they've been out here.
I've never seen them.
I have never seen them either.
You can't say that.
I didn't know.
Because I work with them. So
I was at work,
I can
wasn't
say it. But I can tell you this, back in the day, we had 227 officers, now we're down to 100 and maybe 80 if we're lucky.
So
Okay.
recruitment is down just like every other
You
position.
have to educate
He's our guest
yourself.
now, he's our guest.
To 180. Majority of your calls for services are shots fired. If somebody's on a bicycle, they can't get across town to do the service on the shots fired of the person been shot because our crime
Okay,
level
who is our
has
guest?
risen.
You said somebody's our guest. Who's our guest?
You're late, we can't go back to that.
Mr.
All right,
McDaniel.
you're the officer?
No, ma'am, I'm the community engagement.
All right, who's the officer?
There is no officer.
There's no officer.
She's
Okay, I wish we had an officer in here
Relations.
to address this.
Yes, sir.
Because this is not good. I live not far from here, and we have a lot of people who have moved into our neighborhood. I'm black. We have people who are Hispanic. We have people who are white. We have people who are of other nationalities. Now, I've lived in my neighborhood for more than 30 years, and I will not be subject to anyone running me out of my neighborhood. You understand?
Amen.
That's right.
Amen.
I'm not going to have this. I have people in my neighborhood who are one house, two houses down, who are playing music it started at 5 in the afternoon, it goes to 7. I'm thinking it's gonna quit at 8, maybe 10. It lasts to 12, 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I am not gonna be subject to this. Does anyone in this room understand what I'm saying? If you don't understand what I'm saying, you don't belong at this meeting.
I know exactly what you're saying.
This is my first time at this meeting, and I'm going to tell you it's not going to be my last time. But I'm not going to be subject to this.
Right.
This is unacceptable.
Well, and it's a good start you being here.
Oh, get the fuck on, we got Kaylee back.
You people deserve to have silence. You people deserve to have sleep. You people deserve to be able to go to bed at night and feel secure.
Yes, they do.
As well as myself.
Yes, ma'am.
I am not going to accept this. I'm not going to put up with this.
And if anybody in this room is going to, you don't belong here. I'm sorry that I had to come here tonight and say this, but I am not going to put up with this. No one's going to run me from my home. No one's going to run me out of my neighborhood. No one's going to play loud music at night and let it last till 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I have bought sound machines. I have bought security windows. I have bought storm doors. This is unacceptable. And I am not going to put up with it.
It's a whole different generation and what's.
Okay, Katie, what are you saying now?
So, my name's Kaylee Gray. I work for the City of Peoria Community Development Department, so I work at City Hall. I do a lot of what Keith does, but for the Community Development Department. So that's building safety, so building inspections. If someone's building something new or adding to a building, our inspectors go out, make sure it's safe and sustainable. That's code enforcement, that's grants management, that's our land bank, and that's planning and zoning. So I kind of serve as a liaison between our neighborhoods and our homeowner associations and community organizations and the Community Development Department. You know, like Keith, I get a lot of complaints. Sometimes they're not for me. Sometimes they are more police complaints. Sometimes they're more public works. That's like lighting and potholes. But I'm still able to take that back to, and I have like a direct line of communication with not only the director of the Community Development Department, but also the director and assistant director of Public Works. So if you have any specific addresses, specific areas you want city staff to look at, let me know. I'll be here after the meeting too, so if you have something in mind, come see me. I'll take a note on it and make sure that gets to the appropriate person.
I have all of that, Katie. Lawrence and I have been working on this. We got addresses, we got pictures with everything. What we're trying to do next week, you can help us out on this next month. By the time we make the announcement now, the third Thursday, we go back to that regular date, the third Thursday next month. We want to get Joe Doolin and what's Powers' name from Public Works?
Rick Powers?
Yeah.
Powers.
Help get them here for next, I think it's the 16th, I believe, of December, the third Thursday of December. We want them here. We got, Lord has the pictures, he has addresses, everything. We want to present that to them. So if you, well, I'll be talking to you.
Guys, later.
All right,
Take care.
okay, any other questions?
No, but I was gonna ask, Kaylee, in terms of what the documentation you have and what you wanna have that discussion, would it be better served to have a meeting prior to the meeting so that that could be shared in case you have other things?
Well, Doolin already knows about it. I don't know about Powers, but Doolin been talking about this for years.
I can email you everything.
Yeah, send it to me via email so I can send it to Director Doolin and Director Powers beforehand. So they're coming in, you know, having reviewed everything. So they're not just, you know, because, you know, if you show that to me now, I'm going to be like, okay, I can't really respond. I'm going to have to take it back and
And they may not be able to respond without having seen it before.
Exactly.
I have all the information though. I mean, I didn't bring it with me because I thought we were going to save it for next month. When they meet next month. I got all the love made up. I got all the
Even if they've already got it, it still just helps reemphasize the fact that we.
Will they be coming to the meeting or sending some?
I'll show up in the eggs.
Will they be coming?
We're trying to get Doolin the Power. Do y'all want to come back with, you probably won't be here with them, would you? But,
We'd like you.
yeah, I want to meet with Mary as soon as possible. I told her we can solve, we can reduce juvenile crime by 50% if I get somebody to do that. He's going to be finding somebody to do it. So maybe between the two of them, we can get it done. But see, I'm all about solutions because we can complain all day long. If somebody don't come and say, look, take the horn, the bull by the horn, and say, hey, look, let's do it this way, it'll never get done. So, and listen to the problem is great. But everybody here knows what the problem is. It's been on East Bluff for a while. What we need help with now is people to come in with resources, not only resources, but expertise and as well as connections to work with us. What we're going to do now, the East Bluff don't have a spokesperson. You know, South End is people, which is great, they need more. But there's no one speaking for the East Bluff. So what we're trying to start here now with this neighborhood association is to become a voice, because eventually we want to bring in the other associations, even the one that's been dissolved. We want to bring either the president, bring them back on board, so because as a group, if we're speaking as a group, now the politicians go take notice. Because we have our, at large city council, there's only one at large city council that comes up here without a camera, and that's Ricky Brook Reed. The rest of them, they come this way. So that's kind of stuff we got to get. We need
I have a question. So,
You said it's okay for us to discuss the problems that we have, and you are for solutions.
Exactly.
Okay, so what do you feel is the problem? I mean, what is giving you the drive to want to start up this association? What do you feel is the problem? Because I feel like if you let everyone else have a feel of what you think is the problem, you might get a little, she probably wouldn't got that upset, because for me, that was the same reason why I came, because I felt it was more of you speaking of how we felt about what was going on and the crime that was going on of that nature. But then, you know, you have people, you know, individuals come talking about resources.
Right.
So, you know, I feel like in a way that's kind of contradictory. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we understand the resources out there, but how do these people know that those resources is going to reduce, you know, induce the crime? They don't know that.
That's what we're hoping to accomplish. That's what we hope meeting like this to
That's what I'm saying. So what do you feel is the problem?
There is no deep problem. I mean, and this is one of the things where people keep messing up at. Well, this is the problem, the problem.
Yes.
There is no deep problem. The problem is there are dozens and dozens and dozens of problems. And if we only focus on one, we're not going to solve anything. I mean, parents are the problem. Yeah, absolutely parents are the problem. But environment, social media, music. I mean, there are so many problems out here. If you just try to pick out one. And my thing is, we listen to people, find out what your concerns are. Now we can put all our resources on solving these problems. So now we just had all the people tonight talking about what the problems are. So now we got the people here with the resources. So now what we do, now we get other people coming in here next month, and now we start putting all these resources together and get hopefully the same people come back, so that goes show what the resources are. But they have to be, both the people, and I found this out, I'm pretty sure you have too.
Yeah.
99% of the people out here complaining never showed up for nothing.
Amen.
So what's that? So there's nothing we can do about those. If they're not trying to help themselves, you can't help a person that's not trying to help themselves.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to do now, we're trying to help the community. That's why we're not putting an individual thing. We're trying to do this as a community organization. We're going to bring the entire East Bluff community under one roof. And now we can lobby, because now we got about 4,000 votes. Even though half of them, but 10% of them, 10% of them votes, but we still got that number of votes. I think that could be a chill. Feel more that's what I'm talking about.
I gotta eat, exercise.
All right, take it.
All right, anybody else with any more questions?
She
had a comment.
Okay.
I just want to thank you guys for inviting me, although I'm not from the East Bluff. You know, I've been around East Bluff. I try to get involved wherever I can to help. I would love to see, you know, all the answers, all the questions solved. I think, and that goes for every neighborhood, you know. Also, I would like to say, you know, in reference to the community relations, I think I'm all aboard on that. That's 100%. And you know, I still want to call you Officer Daniel.
Everybody put on the calendar. December 15th.
December 15th.
The Thursday. I think 16th is Thursday. It's a Thursday. I think the 16th.
Somebody look on their
I'm
phone.
pretty sure
She's
it's
got
16th.
mine.
6 o'clock here.
7/17.
December 15th.
It's the third or fourth Thursday.
You said Thursday?
The third Thursday.
Third Thursday is the 15th.
15th, I'm on the 16th. Oh, that's 15th then.
I'm looking at the calendar.
That's 15th then. I thought it was 16th, okay. But anyway, look, the third Thursday at 6 o'clock, we're going to have some kind of little snacks or something here this time. So it's going to start with the big dogs here. We'll get some big dogs here this time. So.
Y'all some big dogs, don't worry about it.
I'm like, you can come back when,
Oh, definitely.
at the next meeting. And
Actually, I have a meeting that night too.
Okay.
So, let me say this really quick. So the city and the county has a racial justice equity commission?
Yes.
Okay. So, if you have not, please go to the county, and I'll send you that link as well, and get involved, because we understand that a lot of what's going on is systemic. And we've got to dig deep to come up with what and how we're going to solve many of the issues that are taking place here in Florida. So the Joint Commission on Racial Justice Equity. So the third Thursday, I have.
Well, like I said, this is really not, I mean, you're talking about, hopefully we'll talk before then.
Yes, sir.
Well, the meeting after that, I'll come pick you up. And you're coming.
And we're going to start doing can't leave here.